How are you getting on now? Gary Hill and I were talking this morning, having a chat, and we're talking about really briefly about the Fender Bass VI, six-string bass, tic-tac bass or octave guitar or whatever you want to call it. Now I've been playing these for quite a while. I've always liked the sound of them. I'm not a big down tuning kind of guy, but I like I like having specific guitars that are like an octave lower kind of thing. And for years and years I used a Dan Electro that I got in Vegas back in 2000 or something like that. And I think it's got a 27-inch scale, and this has got more like a 30 or a 29. Anyway, I got this about last spring. Mitch got it in for me, and I think he got one too. I got the Candy Apple Red, and he got the Sunburst, and I really dig this thing. Jaguar or Jazzmaster bridge pickup, Jaguar middle and neck pickups with 5-way switch, like a Strat switch down here, volume and tone, tremolo, which I never use. It just, you know, it seems like kind of overkill and too hard to keep in tune. I mean, a lot of guys use them, I'm sure they're lovely. Anyway, and D'Addario XL blah blah woof woof woof, whatever they are, whatever gauge strings they are. They're I think they're an 80 to a 20 or something like that, like 80. What's it go? They're big ass strings. Anyway, this instrument came about back in the 60s. They started using these a lot in studios because they were just transitioning between like upright bass and like Fender P bass, and a lot of the old school guys still wanted to play upright, but they didn't. A lot of times that would get lost in the mix, and guys would use these. And I remember reading Tommy Tedesco talking about God, it wasn't Bob Bain, I don't think, but there was one guy who was like, that was his deal, was he played six-string bass on, that's what he was called for. So it would double bass lines and would add like a trebly, you know, to like an upright bass. And then it kind of came into its own, and it's used a lot on a lot of country and roots records and things like that. And I love the sound. You know, now some guys like putting tons of distortion on these things. That's not what I particularly use this for. I mean, you could, I suppose. I mean, you know, you could do the whole. Don't do that. You could, if you wanted to, I suppose. But what I like using it for is like single line stuff, especially if there's another guitar player playing, and I can just, you know. Play kind of like little fills in, you know, and it kind of gives it a really nice low twang to everything. So for example, if you're playing Guitar Town or something like that, it works great on this too. It's not, I don't think they did it on a, I think they just tuned the low E down to D on a regular guitar, but it's fun to play on this too, especially if you add a little vibrato to it or tremolo. It's kind of neat to get that kind of sound. You can have it on kind of subtly, or like playing over your changes and stuff like that, just single note stuff. So like it's really cool for that. I like doing it. You're using it, I should say. I like using it for just kind of when you're kind of just sitting at home playing around with it and playing bass lines with open strings against them and making a kind of a sense of motion. So if you're playing a country, especially if you're like a telly player or something like that, or a country player, these are handy in your pockets in your underwear. They sound okay with the double stop stuff. It can, in a big loud band, it can get kind of mushy, I find. But I mean, they work. I mean, it's okay. I mean, you know, it kind of gives that nice kind of flavor to everything. Anyway, so Fender Bass VI, they're twangy as shit, and they kind of add something pretty cool to your sound. Yes, it is another instrument to lug along, and it's another change in the middle of the set. And it's a whole other set of strings and blah blah woof woof woof. But they're pretty cool. I like them. And anyway, that's 6-string bass. Cheers.